In today's show, what's in and what's out for the Trailblazers in the new year? I'm joined by the hosts of We Have a Take, the What podcast, Rose and Tara, and we talk about the Trailblazers in 2026. Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, world? It's past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter Mike Richmond. You're listening to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making this show your first listen, coming at you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday. So make it a part of your daily routine. Make it your first listen. Tell your friends to do the same. It's Locked On Blazers, your team every day. Today's episode, a very special one. The first annual reunion crossover edition of Locked On Blazers and the We Have a Take podcast. That's the What podcast with Rose and Tara. Happy New Year, Tara. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having us on, Mike. It's great to connect with you again.
Yeah, we did this last year, and I said we got to do it again. Rose, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the show 1 year later. This is actually 366 days for those scoring at home. We recorded on December 31st last year, and we're a day late, but we're still doing it. Rose, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year to you. I hope you got everything you wanted for the holidays and are ready to talk about basketball.
I am ready. I over the holidays made 2 gingerbread houses. My personal world record, 2 gingerbread houses. One in my home, one in someone else's home that I think we left there. But I've really got my architectural and sweet fix out of the way, and I'm ready to look forward to the new year. In today's show, and I pitched this to you guys, and you graciously said, you know what, Mike, that's not the worst idea I've ever heard. As we're talking what's in and what's out for the Trailblazers. Now, I have seen these lists on the internet. They are mostly, as far as I could tell, a list of stuff I like. someone will say in things I like, out things I don't like, but this is going to be a little more Blazers centric. So what's in for the Blazers in 2026? What's out for the Blazers in 2026? Let's start with an in. Tara, what do you got? What's in for the Blazers in 2026?
Well, this is definitely something that I like, and my heart is pounding because I'm so excited to share that this thing is going to be in 2026. I am officially declaring dunks are in for the Trailblazers. Dunks are in. There is nobody who's followed dunks closer than me, I don't think, over the last decade as a lover of dunks and a fan of the Trailblazers. It's been bleak, but I've been keeping track. And starting with last year, the Blazers dunks rose and rose and rose, dunks per game. And I'm saying it's real. It's been around long enough. The Blazers are actually dunking again. I am so excited that dunks are in.
Dunks are in 2026. Yeah, I think so. Who are the Trailblazers' best non-shade and sharp dunkers? Because I think it's very clear who's at the top. It's very clear who's at the top of the list. That dude jumps very high. Who else is on sort of your I don't know, not Mount Rushmore, but something Mount Dunkmore for the Blazers of like on this team who you look forward to throwing one down?
So, well, I try to look at it, holistically, who gets the most dunks. Shaden, I think, is like probably the most aesthetically pleasing dunker in all of the entire NBA, but he's an in-game dunker. Like he needs to do it in-game in the flow of the game. But there's 2 other people that I'm really excited about, and I think they actually make the difference in dunking in the past years and dunking today. And that is we have 2 centers who love to dunk. We have Robert Williams, who is the leading dunker on the team. He actually gets like 55% of his shot attempts are dunks. And then after that is Donovan Clingan, who's a much more reasonable 20. But if you think back on it, when was the last time the Blazers had like centers whose first thought when they're near the rim is to dunk? I mean, it wasn't Yusuf Nurkic.
It was Plumlee. It was Plumlee throwing in those weird backwards dunks. It was the backward dunk Plumlee for sure, Rose. You're right.
Yeah. It has been a long time since we've had a center whose like first instinct is to dunk. And it took Donovan a little while to get there. He's still obviously not there to the extent that Robert Williams is. but it's just a thing of beauty to have a center who has a really great chance of going up for a two-handed dunk right there and not like stepping out so he could like hit a nice little 8-footer.
Klingon has gotten so much better with just his feet. Like he was for a long time, he was like catching the ball under the rim and kind of stayed in the little hunchback position, like looking for someone to pass to. And I think even in the last like month, his feet have gotten better to like load up and get powerful and be gigantic. And it's like, good, you're 7'2", 300 pounds. Like you are indeed gigantic. It would be wonderful if you play. He plays like it on defense, but sometimes on offense he doesn't play like it. So I would say the chance that Klingon dunks a lot more in 2026 seems pretty high because he just like looks more comfortable around the rim. He's been solid, and I think if Scoot Henderson plays basketball again, he's someone who's capable of dunking. They're athletic. Like if nothing else, they're really athletic. Denny is a freight train. He might have to retire from dunking because he's working too hard, but they got dunkers. I love it. Dunks are in. Okay, let's go the other side of the coin. Rose, what's out in 2026? What's out for the Trailblazers?
Okay, so this is something that I think is more prevalent at the beginning of the season, but I still want to declare it out just going into 2026 just to be sure, which is worrying about too much of a good thing. At the beginning of the season, people were like, oh, look at this logjam at point guard. Oh, look at this logjam at center. And I'm like, and where did that get us? I am never going to worry about too much of a good thing because you just never know, man.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Abundance is to be celebrated. Across all of our lives and certainly on the roster. Can I ask you, Rose? Did you subscribe to that? Was there a part of you in the fall who said, perhaps there are too many point guards?
So definitely not. And the reason why is because I was like, I would love to have that problem as opposed to the problems that our team has had in the past couple of seasons. I would love to have too many guys that need minutes and not too many guys who are injured or too many guys that are maybe trying to trade, maybe not. I don't know. Like too many guys to play is a good problem to have. That's what the G League is for.
Yeah. Oh my God. Too many guys who know what they're doing. Whatever will we do?
Yeah, like there is something like if you're like legitimately good, like I think the Warriors, I don't know if the Warriors are legitimately good. I'm going to just say if the Warriors are totally a totally fine, low level playoff team, but they have like they just have so many dudes. And I think there's a problem when you are like competitive of being like, is it going to be Guy Santos or Cam Spencer's brother? Apologies to Pat, I know, but Cam Spencer's better than you, dog. You know the deal. So there is something to that when you're like have some of it defined, but the Blazers don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of sharp definitions. Like, and their whole thing was finding out what they are. So I agree with you. They didn't have too many centers. I think we've seen over the last few weeks that they they could use more of them. But if nothing else, load them up. And like, the point guard thing, it's like they didn't know Scoot was going to get hurt, but even if Scoot was healthy, and he was playing right now, they would still be light on point guards because they would only have one. They just happen to have zero because that's the case. Get well soon, Drew Holiday. Get well soon, Blake Wesley. Get well soon, Scoot. The Blazers. We'll talk about this in a moment. Spoiler, but they did give us a very vague injury update today. So we learned
when people will be reevaluated.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say we learned a lot. We learned one thing, I think. And we can talk about that in the second segment because I've got something that's in 2026. We'll talk about that in the second segment. Join us there, won't ya? First, I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better every Friday night. Before the games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. From Fridays, from 3 to 4:30 Pacific time or 6 to 7:30 Eastern. Their appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. You just open that FanDuel app during the happy hour, and it's always going to bring you something new, like boosts and bonuses and surprises. It's right before the game start. It's right before the weekend start. The timing could not be better. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 3 to 4:30 Pacific. That's 6 to 7:30 Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel. All right. Thanks for making the show your first listen. If you really do listen to the show every day, if you're someone who listens to the show 5 days a week, make it official. Join the Everydayer Club. You get an ad-free version of this podcast, plus access to our members-only Discord where you can chat with me and your fellow fans. $5 a month, $50 a year. You can go visit lockedonblazers.supercast.com or check more info in the show notes for this episode. We are still chatting here. I'm still chatting here. We collectively, with the host of We Have a Take, the What Podcast, Rose and Tara, and we're rolling through ins and outs for 2026. I've got something that's in. You know what's in 2026? Transparency. Transparency is in 2026. We are celebrating transparency. There's never been something that's more in 2026. And let me offer you an example. Here's a little example. I've spent a month or so complaining about the Blazers not offering any sort of real updates about what the heck is happening with their health of their roster, right? People have been emailing me and saying like, hey, are the Blazers secretly tanking? Are they trying to trade these dudes? What's happening? All reasonable questions because they don't tell you anything. They don't respect you as a fan of the team, and they leave it open to have some question marks. But today they finally released the following press release that I'm going to read verbatim because it's not that long. This is released January 1st, 2026. Portland Trail Blazers guard Jrue Holiday has been cleared for a progression of on-court basketball activities as he continues his return to play process. Availability will be determined based on functional response to loading and updated accordingly. That's nothing. We don't know anything about Jrue Holiday. He's playing basketball on the court. I guess that's good news. While reconditioning
Wait, can I pause you for a moment there?
Please.
Functional response to loading and updated accordingly? What does that even mean?
It doesn't
We're going to add
anything.
a bunch of words in there, and that's going to satisfy everybody.
It doesn't mean anything. And that's why they could have done this a month ago and just said, like, you can fry up this nothing burger whenever you want, baby. And that would, like, I think this press release, it satisfies their obligation. It is not informative. You don't learn anything, but the obligation is to communicate with the public and say, here's the official deal. Because if Tiago Splitter tells us pregame, yeah, I mean, he's working out, but he's just not ready. I wish I could tell you more, but I can't. And then you relay on your podcast or on your blog or in the newspaper or whatever, he's working out, but he's just not ready. The Blazer fans, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what it means. And then here's the official press release in plain language, like functional response to loading and updated accordingly. That's just plain language we can all understand. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. He's still hurt. The following sentence, while reconditioning for return to play following left thumb ligament surgery, Matisse Thybulle has been working on a progressive ramp-up despite persistent symptoms with right knee tendinopathy. He continues to progress with on-court work and conditioning, and his status will be updated as appropriate. So, like, this is the big one, right? Because Tease clearly was dealing with this thumb injury, and it was like, why isn't he ready? And Tiago said he's still ramping up. What are you ramping up with a thumb injury, dog? You're allowed to run with a broken thumb. Like, you just hold it close and run around. So I was like, what is he ramping up? This makes sense. He's got a persistent knee injury, a nagging knee injury. And in fact, he is ruled out for tomorrow's game. And for the first time, he is ruled out with this knee injury and not the thumb thing. Oh, the official injury report has finally changed because what's in? Transparency. Now, that's not really transparency. This is nonsense, but this gives you some clue. Scoot Anderson has initiated non-contact on-court basketball activities as he advances to the next phase of rehabilitation for his left hamstring. He will be reevaluated in 2 weeks with updates provided as appropriate. Yeah, I don't think Scoot's really playing basketball yet. he told Jason Quick in December that he was like shooting and running and like spot shooting and stuff. This sounds like a little more than spot shooting, but it's not basketball. That's no good. That's your injury update. Jeremy Grant is officially listed as day-to-day, but he has already been ruled out for Friday's game as well. Transparency is in. Can I ask you this? That was a long monologue, but I do a lot of long monologues on this show. Where are you guys at with the way they talk about injuries? Like, have you gone nuts? Because I've gone a little nuts. Like, it is so stupid as to just sort of drive me crazy that you could say nothing at any points, and they chose to do it on January 1st. Happy New Year.
We spent a good 20 minutes of our last episode bemoaning the exact same thing.
Yeah, I don't think that this is a complaint that is unique or special, because I think everybody's been wondering, why are these guys disappear and never come back? I was telling Tara how, like, I saw that Derek Jones Jr. had been out since like November 16th, and people were talking about how he's coming back, and oh, great, because the Clippers really need him. And I was like, November 16th? He's already back? Good for him. Like, our guys go into the Bermuda Triangle of basketball injuries, and then they never come out again. And we never know if it's because they continue to stay injured or they have setbacks, or if the rumor mill that, you know, always gets churning up around this time is true, and that they're trying to trade them.
It's like, it leaves space for speculation. And I think that's what they're not, like, do the Blazers owe us clarity? Is there like some competitive reasons and maybe some whatever reasons for them to be, I don't know, coy with the stuff? Sure. Right. Sure. Whatever. But by disrespecting the transparency, they leave space for fans to say, the medical staff doesn't know what they're doing. The PR staff doesn't know what they're doing. Joe Cronin is an idiot. Is that good management? Is that what you want if you're in charge? Like, in any job, right? In any job, a lack of communication leaves space. And in the basketball world, it leaves a bunch of space because there's people like me who talk into the microphone way too much. It ain't good. Tara, I guess what your feelings are, you've bemoaned it, but are you like, are you angry, disappointed, confused? Like, what is where are you on the emotional scale? Like, if we were in the doctor's office, point to the smiley face that sort of most represents your response to this.
I just feel like when you start the season with your coach being arrested, that you owe your fans some sort of consistency. And if you're going to say we're going to reevaluate on a certain day, the least you could do is say today is the day we said we were going to reevaluate, and we did, and we're still don't have a clear answer for return. But if you're going to put dates out there for reevaluation, you should get back to us somewhere near those dates, you know, not 6 weeks later. That's how I feel.
Yeah, a real passive aggressive. Circling back on this, Trailblazers, what's going on here? Just following up from November 14th, Drew Holiday. Curious as to when he might be playing basketball again. Thanks, let me know. I mean, I've sent a lot of passive aggressive emails in my time. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Yeah. Transparency.
I just have to say that I absolutely loved the language of this particular press release, though, because it was so like, okay, you all are just driving us nuts with all of these questions, so we're going to put out a bunch of fancy words to make it sound like, and it was like, it actually consumed more of the group chat than the actual news of what was returning. And it reminds me of like when, you know, the arrest came and we got to read like all the court documents, and we spent all this time like figuring out what were going to be our co-conspirator names, because that was more interesting than the rest of it. But at least it's something.
Yeah, I think you make a great point with the Chauncey arrest thing. When you are a team that has maybe some general trust issues, maybe I'll use some like therapy language, challenges. They have challenges building trust with the outside. It would be a great time to take positive steps in that direction. It would be a great time to take positive steps in that direction. You know, transparency is in. Okay, Tara, what's out in 2026? What's out?
Oh, I had such a hard time with this, because that's just not how we're like built, is to like out just sort of implies like things that we like don't like anymore. And it's like, everybody's just trying their best and they just keep putting in these situations. It's not their fault that everybody's injured and that people who are in the G League are starting and So it's very hard to come up with something that didn't feel like a personal attack on like a player. So the thing I'm going to say is about a player, but I really am saying it because I want to get your opinion on something. So here's what it goes. What appears to be out is Ryan Rupert's Eurostep. Previous to the last month, he had not met a basketball play that he couldn't turn into a Eurostep to the basket. And recently, we've been seeing him playing more, and he's been doing some different things. He's been cutting, he's been shooting more threes, lots of catch and shoot, not nearly as many Eurosteps as in the past. And so I'm wondering if this signals are they playing? Because we all have in the back of our mind, CD Sissoko needs a full-time contract. We all have in the back of our mind, what's the trade-off? Who's the person who he's going to get the spot? So I was wondering are they playing Ryan a lot because they think, oh, actually he might fit in more with the future of this team because of the way he plays? Are they playing him more because they're showcasing him for somebody else? Are they playing him more because they think that they're going to keep WAP around, but they want, to give Ryan a chance? I don't know. So the thing I did notice is that the Eurostep is not there, and he's actually been playing better than I've seen him play as a Blazer on the Blazers team. So I don't know. That's the Eurostep is out, but what that means is in, I'm not sure.
In question mark out that, I think he's just playing because they don't have enough dudes. And they obviously didn't trust him for a long time, right? They just weren't playing. He was getting the Javonte Cook Memorial DNPs, where it's just you're available, but it's going to take a catastrophe for you to play early in the season. And now I think they're just out of dudes, and he's been functional. I think he fouls a little bit too much, but I think to your point, my guess, and Rose, I'll ask you the same thing, is he's just trying to get in where he fits in. So he's trying to really narrow the scope. What can I do that won't be a mistake? Catch it, shoot it. I think it's let's, with anyone, it's on the job training. It's can I really make it simple? So my decision tree or whatever is do I shoot this one or do I pass it? And I think that's simpler. But what have you appreciated? What have you noticed about Roops, Rose?
I mean, so I noticed the same thing. The Eurostep, I hardly remember what it looks like right now because we haven't seen it in a while, which is fine. But I think the thing that most stands out to me about him is, well, first, I was a little nervous for him when I was seeing how many minutes Caleb was getting, how many minutes CD was getting, and Roops was still getting some DNPs when we were short on people. He's been getting some playtime lately, but I'm starting to feel like he might be odd man out. We've also had the longest time to look at him compared to those other two guys.
Right.
And maybe he's trying to show something a little bit different because he's looking toward whatever his next home might be. A lot of people have seen that Eurostep. They know what it looks like. There's plenty of tape. He can show off some other skills now. And quite frankly, I'm the green light's probably on for everybody right now. There's just not enough guys to shoot the ball. So he can at least try to find a new soft landing place by showing off what else he can do.
Yeah, I hope he does seem like if they were just to cut someone, and obviously they could make a trade, an imbalanced trade of some flavor and create a roster spots, and that would happen. But if CD's going to get a job, it would be a stunner to me if he does not get an NBA contract. And honestly, Caleb Love might also need one because he's going to hit his limit. I think he's only 2 games behind CD in terms of his tracking towards running out of your 50 game on the active list limit. So they're both going to hit it in early February, and it's going to be oh, well, that's it for y'all. Well, so I can make a decision. So I agree. I think it's probably Roops. Could be Duop. Could be. I mean, those are the only two that it would make sense. Everyone else is either too highly paid or too talented, or literally Damian Lillard. So I have a pretty strong feeling not going to waive Dame. So I think Roops could be in jeopardy. It's so weird with these NBA contracts, right? Is because I don't know what's going to happen to Roops. I bet he's going to play professional basketball for another decade, but I'm not sure he's an NBA player, but I bet he'll be a long-time pro because he's just big and fluid, and he's what, 22 years old still? He's a young man. So we shall see. We got more ins, we got more outs. Join us in the third segment. We'll continue to tell you what's in and what's out for the Trailblazers in 2026. All right. Still a pass first point guard. You're still listening to Locked On Blazers. Still chatting here with the co-hosts of We Have a Take, the What Podcast, Tara and Rose. Rose, what's out in 2026 for the Portland Trail Blazers?
Wait, I think I already told you what was out.
Oh, what's in? Sorry, what's in? Professional note taker during the podcast. Rose, what's in 2026 for the Portland Trail Blazers?
So I think in for the Portland Trail Blazers in 2026 is going to be promoting two-way guys to full NBA contracts.
That's the truth. That is the truth. It is in my notes as job security. Job security is in 2026. So yeah, give me your thoughts on what you've seen from CD and Caleb Love. I assume we're not talking about Javonte Cook, but I'm rooting for anyone to get paid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly talking about CD and Caleb because we've seen the most of them. They've clearly earned minutes, which feels wild. Like, I mean, obviously it started out of necessity, but they clearly are making good use of their minutes and showing off what they can do. The big thing for me has been just like appreciating how they kind of remind me of old players that we've had on our team in some ways that cost us a lot more money to have them at one point. I was telling Tara, I was like, I think CD kind of reminds me of Evan Turner in a lot of ways. Like, he uses his body the way Evan Turner used to use his body, and he can create a little bit like Evan. He can do a little bit of everything like Evan did, but he doesn't cost us tens of millions of dollars a year. And that feels like a net positive. And no shade, like Evan Turner was very enjoyable Blazer, loved having him here, but CD being here on it as a two-way guy is going to be promoted.
He did retire at the end of that contract. He retired from the NBA at the end of that contract. So yeah, point taken for sure.
Yeah. So being able to get that at like a smaller cap hit for the team, like that just feels like a gift.
Yeah, I think it's roughly $17 million less, about 17 million on average less.
Per year.
Yeah. Over the course of it, it was whatever, 65 million or 70 million bucks. I think there's a story that Evan Turner tells where he got the offer and he like called his mom. Was it? He called his mom and was like, yo, they offered me $70 million. And she was like, have you signed the contract? He's like, no. He's like, hang up, sign the contract, call me back. What are you doing? Like,
no, I think he was Iggy. I think he called Iggy.
Yeah, I called Andre Iguodala. That's who it was. He called Andre Iguodala to tell him like, hey dog, I'm rich. And he's like, sign the contract, call me back. Get your name on the paper, then come celebrate. Let's get it happen. Also, like, they might wise up and realize you're Evan Turner, not give you $70 million, but he got away with it. So good for him. Yeah. What have you made, Tara, of the Caleb Love experience? What is your sort of feelings towards the Caleb Love roller coaster?
So, I want everybody to have a chance to succeed. And like when we did our deep dive on Caleb, we learned about, how polarizing he can be because he has these very high highs and then he has some low lows. Who amongst us doesn't, I would say. Amen. And then also when I am watching social media during Blazer games and I see people saying, oh no, Caleb Love is coming in, I want to say, who else are they going to put in? So like, let's just pull back on the negative because what other choice do they have? And let's just let the guy go off and have bad games like we've allowed everybody else to have a bad game. It's not like Caleb Love is the only person on the planet who's ever, had a bad shooting night. And he's also had some good shooting nights and he's won some games. So
yeah, he has a blood pact to destroy the Golden State Warriors. Like who
amongst us doesn't love that?
Yeah, he has some sort of ritualistic commitment to destroy the Warriors every time he plays them. I think he had 10 threes against them in consecutive, or like 6 and then 4 in consecutive games, which spawned my take that the Blazers will never lose a game if Caleb Love hits 4 threes off the bench, because they did it against the Warriors, and I was like, shoot, that's a winner every time. Like if he does that, that's a winner every time. Yeah, like I mentioned this to a colleague during one of the games on Press Row. It's like, Caleb Love can he has some moments. He has some low moments where it's like that ball didn't hit the rim. Like that didn't even come close. That crushed the backboard from 25 feet out. But they don't really have a formula right now where they win without him playing well. Like they need him. So I think Rose is right. It's in. I think Caleb Love might get an NBA contract out of this thing, if nothing else, just out of necessity. I think it's happening.
I want to say one other thing about Caleb Love that I've been thinking about as I've been seeing him play really well. Caleb Love to me is somebody who, so we know that he is a longtime fan of Damian Lillard. Like, he said that that's his favorite player. He went to Formula Zero. He was the MVP of Formula Zero. And I was thinking, more than anybody on our team right now, I feel like we're getting to watch Caleb Love live out his dream. He gets
that is beautiful. Amen. That's beautiful. He really is.
Yeah, he gets to sit on that bench and get coached by his favorite player, go out there and play a shift, and then get feedback again. And also he gets the opportunity to earn an NBA contract. Like, that just gives me chills to think about how he gets to do the thing that he dreamed of doing, and he's doing it here in Portland.
And if he gets on a heater, they win. Like he's a huge X factor for them. Like, if he gets hot, and Caleb Love, he wakes up hot. You know, he's like, I'm ready to go. I am like, I bet he gets out of bed and shoots like a pull-up 27-footer. He's like, I am ready. And he's gonna play the way he plays. And when the ball goes in, they win. Like, the Blazers win the game. So he really is living out his dream. That's beautiful. That is a true hold on to your joy moment from Caleb Love. Okay, to close this one out. You know what's out? It was out. I have so many in this out list because unlike you, Tara, I'm a hater. You woke up with optimism in your bones flowing through your blood, and I woke up like, shoot, I got to add a couple more to this in list if I'm gonna get it. Out. Missing possessions on defense to complain to the refs. That's out in 2026. That's out. I'll amend that. That's possessions with an S. You can miss a possession. You get one free one a game if you get mad about a foul, and you can go talk to the refs and complain without running back on defense. But the second time, that's out in 2026. And y'all, I'm talking to you, Deni Avdija. Stop it. Get back on defense, bud. We know you play physical and you get hit all the time. Like, every possession, because you also do some hitting yourself. You play a physical brand of basketball, but whining and not getting back on defense, it sucks. Everyone hates it. Maybe not everyone hates it. It can be frustrating for many fans. That's a little rephrasing from a dad, from a local dad. We're not using the H word. It can be frustrating for local fans to watch that. I wonder, do you all note the Deni Avdija whining?
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, even if I don't notice it, I notice Tiago yelling at him, because Tiago sometimes yells at him to get back on D. But I also know, like, it's not, so he does the most of it, but some other guys get into it too when they're having a hard game. I've seen Donovan do it.
Okay, I want to ask you this. Who's the third biggest complainer on the team? We've been talking about this on Press Row. There's the top two is clear, is Deni and DC. Who in your mind complains the third most on the Trailblazers?
Somebody from the bench, probably.
Yeah.
Jeremy can do some complaining when he's playing, but we haven't seen him play for a little while, so he's kind of in the back of my mind. But Jeremy can get into it. Because
he fell down after a 3-pointer, and he's looking at the ref like, why am I on the ground if I didn't get fouled, bud? He's like, you tell me how I landed here. It's like, well, Mr. Grant, you fall down on almost every jump shot. That's how you landed there. That's how you landed there, because you're committed to falling down. Rose, sorry, I cut you off if you want to finish your thought in general on Tiago yelling at Deni and that.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I've seen Tiago yelling at him, and I've seen it. It's like Deni, and then Donovan, and then probably Jeremy, and then like a bunch of really happy guys who are pretty positive and cheering.
Living out their dream. They're at work. They're living their dream. Yeah.
Exactly. Two can also get into it too, and Two feels like, because he's been in foul trouble lately, and I think that's been really frustrating for him, because he's been trying to, like, sometimes force picking up fouls that, like, you know, on the other guys, and sometimes he either gets like no call or he gets like whistled for a foul himself, and that, I think that can get really, like, get under his skin. But three is a toss up.
Yeah, I agree. So I would say, but leave that in your for your end of year awards. Third biggest complainer could be a what end of year Blazers season award. Third biggest complainer is the drum roll. I'm looking forward to it.
You know, I think so. One of the things that drives me crazy, that's kind of a corollary to Deni, you know, yelling at the refs. The grifting for charges drives me crazy. I wouldn't call it grifting, because like a lot of them are legal, but the like prioritizing taking a charge over some other defensive maneuver makes me nuts. And it's exciting when it happens, but I don't want the whole game going on in a whole different way because you wanted to draw that charge. And 2 does it, and CD does it. And
yeah, they're
CD,
two. I was going to say they're two of the biggest floppers
Yeah.
in the NBA. Elite floppers. It's a skill. Tumani I asked him about it after a game recently, and he said, "Oh, I don't flop. I enhance." And he has been enhancing. My man has been out here enhancing. And I asked City about it too. I was like, "Hey, it seems like you've kind of learned the dark arts." And he's like, yeah. I watched or whatever. I'm watching the tape on him. And there's like a cluster of French speakers. It's Ryan and Tumani and City. And after the game, it's going off in French, probably talking smack about us. And I'm like, they're right. He's like, Tumani's just teaching these two gentlemen how to fall down professionally. He's like, now you see, when they get close on a screen, you just smash into that young man's shoulder and fall down.
And then they're lying down, and then they are out of the play.
Yeah,
and that's
they're lying down 30 feet from the rim. Yeah. I think, like, in general, I think drawing charges is whack. But Tumani's so good at it that I am like, I'm like, no, that's a skill. I appreciate the art, but like, I think if I didn't watch him all the time and I just like, flew in and watched 148-minute game, I'd be like, this man is a criminal. lock him up. Like, this is not ethical basketball. Get him out of here. But like, I watch him enough that I genuinely appreciate it. I'm wondering if either of you have anything on your lists that we didn't share in the show. It's kind of deeper down your ins and out list that you want to share before we get out of here.
I have an in that I didn't share. My in is Blazers getting pets, because Donovan had a great leap forward over the summer and he got a puppy. So what I'm saying is we should just test this theory out a little bit and see if more guys can get pets and if it like enhances their play.
Do you remember when Rocco had all those snakes?
Oh, do we ever? That was the golden age of Blazers pets, because Nurkic had like really fancy cats.
Oh yeah, he had designer cats. Yeah.
He had like designer cats, and we had snakes, and we had all sorts of dogs. And now we have like 3 golden retrievers and a couple of like I think Shaden's got a dog that's like maybe like a Doberman or something.
Yeah, I didn't. And Norm Powell had like the type of dog that has an Instagram. He had like multiple dogs that had Instagrams. I think so they were. It was a great time to be alive.
You said Norman Powell, and we both go, ugh.
Tara and I are not Norman Powell enjoyers.
Oh man, listen. If they'd committed to him, he would have been a hero here. He was good. Tara, what's also on your list? What else is in 2026?
Out, something I would like to see be out is assistant coaches wearing athleisure. I want to have suits back. The other day I was watching the Prime thing, and they had Austin Rivers sitting on the bench, and he was wearing a suit, and I didn't realize it was him. And I was like, oh my God, that looks so nice to have one of the assistant coaches wearing a suit. Why can't we do that anymore? And then I realized it was Austin Rivers just like covering the team, which was fine. But that just reignited my whole, I wish the coaches would go back to suits. And I know that's not popular, but I have a whole bit on it, but I will not go into it now.
How is Nate Bjorkgren going to run around so damn much in a suit? He's active. Nate is out. Nate is guarding shooters in the corner. Like, Nate is active. He can't wear a suit.
They make him look stretchy. They build in the stretchy stuff. He'll be fine. My biggest thing is assistant coaches are so overworked. Coaches in general are so overworked, and they're so focused on just the game and everything that they have to do for the game that they don't have time to like step out to like do something else and be creative. And if wearing a suit is like your one little bit of way to like express yourself, like, and if that's hard for you, get a stylist. They can pick it out for you. And I also remember that Terry Stotts used to, at the end of the season, he used to donate all of those suits to organizations who would give out suits to people who needed them so that they could get jobs. And now all those are just gone. It's like, here's another 3/4 sleeve zip up. And it's just like, I don't know. I think we get it. We all are dressing more casual since the pandemic, but also it feels good to put on something nice every once in a while and step out every once in a while. And they are so clearly exploiting that little tiny loophole in the rule book that it's making me mad.
All right, that's out. Athleisure out. Quarter zips out. Get a suit, Nate. Nate, get a suit. Saint, get a suit over there. Tiago, you better get a bunch, bud. You guys spend a lot of time standing. Okay, on my list in point guards. Scoot Henderson,
Yes.
Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard in. Point guards are in 2026.
Blake Wesley.
Out. Blake Wesley, in my mind, he's a 2, but I accept. But Blake Wesley, throw him in there. Out. The Allen Estate. Get them out of here. The Allen Estate's out of here in 2026. I think those are my only other ones that you guys didn't mostly get. Rose, you got any last ones you want to throw in there?
I have one more in.
Yeah.
Day-to-day injuries. So here's the thing. Health is great. I would love, like, everybody, you know, in the new year, they're like, oh, health, you know, everybody wants to like cheers to health. I would just like to cheers to day-to-day guys, instead of like long-term injuries with tears and that require surgery. If we were just dealing with run-of-the-mill stuff with like knee tendinopathy or whatever, like, you know, where they're out for like 2-3 games, I would love for that to be in 2026, just day-to-day guys. If we're gonna have
an illness, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. Respiratory virus.
Miss a long weekend, like a normal person misses work. Yeah, let's have it happen. Yeah, I'm with it. Do you have an out? Do you have anything else?
My other out was bagging on Caleb Love, which we are kind of covered. Which
good, yeah.
We don't need to talk about again, but I just want to say I'm out on that. Like, miss me with that. We just need bodies, healthy bodies. Like when we saw Austin Rivers on that bench, I was like, Tara, he should just suit up because we need a point guard. Like, I know he's probably not in basketball shape, but at this point, anyone who can run the floor, if you are healthy, like, get him out there. Austin Rivers in the suit, I don't care. Put him in 20 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, I think Caleb Love, with all his flaws, they basically, as currently constructed, they cannot win games if he doesn't play well. I mean, that's like, they need him. I don't think that's a great place for them to be, but it's where they are. They need him. Tara, Rose, this was a treat. This was a treat for the first annual Locked On Blazers. We have a take Locked On Blazers crossover. We've done it 2 years in a row. It's our New Year's Day tradition. Doesn't that make it
the second annual?
No, because the first one is your inaugural, and then when you do it, it's now the first annual, because it can't be an annual tradition when it's the first one. That's I used to work for the newspaper.
That's what it says in the AP style guide.
Yeah, they would correct you. I've had an editor say, no, that's not how it works. Like,
yeah, it's not a podium. It's a
a lectern. It's a lectern. Yeah, they're not at the podium. It's a lectern. Trust me, I've been there. This is always a treat. So if folks are looking for more of your basketball stylings, where can they find it?
They can find the We Have a Take podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and you can find us on Blue Sky and on Instagram
and YouTube.
Nice. And YouTube, because that's where people listened. That's where people listen to podcasts. Apparently, as I've learned over the last few years. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. That is going to do it for today's program. Dear listeners, come back. The next time you hear my voice, we will talk about 2 basketball games. The Blazers play the Pelicans. The Blazers play the Spurs. They're probably going to be still a mash unit trying to scrape out wins. So on Monday's program, we'll talk about those 2 games. We do 5 of these a week, wherever you get podcasts, also on YouTube. Tell your friends about the program, and then come back for more shows next week. I appreciate you listening. I will talk to you soon.